Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm excited to have you here today. Today's presentation is titled, How to Get Over Someone You Never Even Dated. We'll explore effective strategies to move on when you've had feelings for someone, but never actually entered into a relationship with them. In the next few minutes, I'll share practical tips and insights to help you heal and find closure. So let's get started. Have you ever looked around and felt like everyone else is comfortably paired up while you're still navigating life solo? It's a common feeling, isn't it? You might be attractive, successful, charming, and financially secure. Really, a great catch by any standard. And yet, despite all these strengths, settling down still feels just out of reach. If this sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone. Many people struggle to form lasting relationships, not because they're unworthy of love, but because of deeper psychological patterns. These patterns influence how we choose, attract, or relate to partners, often without us even realizing it. Today, I want to share 6 evidence-based reasons why you might still be single. And more importantly, I'll talk about what you can do about each one. Understanding these reasons can be empowering because it helps us see that these challenges are not a reflection of our worth. Instead, they're clues to better understanding ourselves and improving our relationship journey. So, let's explore these 6 reasons together and see how we can move toward the relationships we truly want. This slide doesn't contain enough information. That's why we're moving to the next slide. Let's talk about the first key point on this slide. You lack a clear sense of identity. Many of us struggle with choosing the right partner or maintaining long-term relationships, and often, it's less about the other person and more about how well we understand ourselves. If you're still unsure of who you are, what you truly value, or what you want in life, it becomes almost impossible to recognize what you genuinely need from a partner. A lot of people go into relationships hopping to fill an internal emptiness, believing that love will complete them. But here's the thing, loneliness doesn't come from not having a partner. It actually stems from disconnection from ourselves. Psychologist Erik Erikson emphasized that having a stable sense of identity is crucial for forming healthy, intimate relationships. Without that sense of self, love can become more of a fixation, something we chase after to fill gaps, rather than a genuine connection. So I want you to ask yourself, do I want a partner because I'm truly ready to share my life and grow together? Or am I trying to fill a void or avoid loneliness? Recognizing this distinction is a vital step toward healthier, more meaningful relationships. So one common trap we fall into is having standards that are just unrealistically high. This is what I like to call the perfection trap. While it's important to have self-respect and to refuse to settle for less than we deserve, aiming for perfection, whether in ourselves or in others, can actually create an impossible barrier to love. Perfection isn't just hard to achieve. It's often an illusion that keeps us from truly connecting with someone. Now, let's talk about distorted expectations. Do you find yourself searching for someone who mirrors every interest you have? Or who always knows exactly what to do, how to act, or what you need without you even having to communicate? It's a common misconception, and unfortunately, modern media, romance novels, and those social media, couple highlights, only fuel these unrealistic ideals. They paint a picture of perfect relationships that simply don't exist. The reality of love is quite different. Real relationships aren't effortless or perfect all the time. They require learning from each other, adjusting, and growing together. It's about building a partnership where both people meet each other halfway. And here's the key. Someone doesn't need to check every box on your list to be your person. They only need to meet the right ones, those that truly matter for your happiness and growth. That's what makes love authentic and sustainable. Sometimes, even if we've moved on and tried to date again, we still feel that ache in our hearts when we think about our ex. And that's completely normal. If that pain is still there, it means you're not quite ready for a new love, no matter how much you might want to be. Rebound relationships, in particular, rarely work out because they're often based on avoidance rather than genuine desire. People tend to jump into something new to escape pain, loneliness, or just to find closure. But rushing into a new relationship without healing can prevent you from truly moving forward. So, before seeking someone new, give yourself permission to heal fully. Learn to be comfortable with being single, secure in yourself, and whole on your own. That growth, learning to love and trust yourself again, can actually elevate every future relationship you have. Remember, healing isn't a sign of weakness. It's a foundation for healthier, more fulfilling connections down the line. So let's talk about the idea that some of us are afraid of commitment. According to Robert Sternberg's triangular theory of love, lasting relationships actually depend on three key components: intimacy, passion, and commitment. Now, we often hear about passion and excitement, especially at the beginning of a new romance. But true, enduring love requires more, especially the element of commitment. Some people thrive on the thrill of new beginnings, but then pull away when things start to get deeper. Why is that? Well, commitment involves vulnerability. It's about opening up and risking emotional exposure. And let's be honest, vulnerability takes courage. It's not always easy to let someone see all of who we are, especially if we're afraid of being hurt or rejected. Ask yourself, are you afraid of feeling trapped? Do you worry about rejection or abandonment? Or maybe you tend to leave first before the other person can walk away. Sometimes there's a hidden belief that relationships just don't last, so why bother investing? Understanding these fears is crucial. The first step to breaking out of this cycle is to recognize why you might be hesitant to commit. When we understand our fears, we can start to address them and build healthier, more secure connections. Sometimes the reason you might feel like you don't have time to date is actually practical, not emotional. Maybe you're really busy with your career, your studies, personal projects, or family responsibilities. When your schedule is packed to the brim, dating can easily become an afterthought, something you think you'll get to later. And you know what? There's nothing wrong with that. It's perfectly okay to be focused on your priorities. But if having a relationship is something you truly want, then you need to make space for it. Love, in its essence, requires presence, time, and attention. It can't thrive on leftovers or scraps of your busy schedule. You need to be intentional about creating that space, otherwise it's just going to stay on the back burner. So this is really about aligning your actions with your desires. If building a relationship is important to you, then it's about carving out the time and attention that it deserves. It's about recognizing that meaningful connections need more than just the spare moments we sometimes have. They need to be prioritized. And that's a key part of understanding how to balance your busy life with your personal relationship goals. So, on this slide, we're talking about being single by choice, and it's important to recognize that there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Maybe you truly value your independence and enjoy your life as it is right now. That's perfectly valid. Or perhaps you're focusing on personal growth, healing, or pursuing your own goals. Prioritizing yourself doesn't mean you're missing out. It means you're investing in your future. And when it comes to seeking a relationship, it's crucial to approach it from a place of strength, not neediness. A healthy relationship should be something you want, not something you feel you need to fill a void or seek validation. When you pursue love from a position of confidence and self-assurance, you naturally attract healthier, more genuine connections. So remember, being single by choice is a sign of strength, and it's a powerful foundation for building meaningful relationships whenever the time is right. So why are you still single? Well, it might be because you're going through a healing process, or you're learning more about yourself, or you're growing in ways that change what you want in a partner. It could also be that you're refining your standards, making sure you know what you truly deserve. Or perhaps you're simply focusing on other important areas of your life right now. Sometimes, the right person just hasn't aligned with your path yet, and that's okay. The key here is understanding the psychological patterns that might be holding you back. Once you recognize these, you can start approaching dating with more clarity and emotional maturity. And that's what really makes a difference. When you do this, you open the door to finally connecting with someone truly compatible, a person who loves you for who you really are, not who you think you should be. So remember, being single isn't a setback. It's part of your growth. When you understand yourself better and approach dating from that place, you're more likely to find a meaningful, lasting connection.